Then a look behind the scenes of the art on Transformer boxes around town. And later, a preview of the upcoming Rams football season. All that and more next on CTV News.
Good evening and welcome to CTV on this Wednesday, April 24th. I'm Wayne Stafford.
And I'm Mackenzie O'Keefe.
The craft beer boom in Fort Collins will be expanded to CSU after completion of the Laurie Student Center renovations. You heard it right. The Ramsco will be installing a microbrewery, which will be the 13th brewery in Fort Collins. The brewery will be a 6-barrel system and would be more like an interactive classroom rather than the usual brewery. The new equipment will cost about $500,000. Michael Ellis, executive director of the Student Center, told the Coloradoan that they are planning for a 1,000 square foot brewery and a 500 square foot classroom adjacent to the brewery. A glass wall would separate the brewery from the Skeller.
The presidential ambassador set up a unique awareness event for students to learn more about how CSU is funded on the plaza this Wednesday. The event was set up like the TV game show The Price is Right and featured mini games. Students learned about how the university is funded and where student fees and tuition actually go. The presidential ambassadors told us that about 25% of CSU is funded by tuition and the rest is provided by private donations.
Theme is kind of centered around the Price is Right and the price of CSU. So we have Plinko, we have Cornhole, we have a trivia wheel. So we try and keep it kind of game showy with the 70s fonts and logos and stuff. And then we have takeaways. If you want to get a payday or 100 grand, we kind of are giving out that candy as well. And yeah, so hopefully somebody walks away with something to eat, maybe something that they've had fun doing, but also a little bit of information about kind of our event, what we wanted to get across the students.
For more information on the price of CSU or for more highlights from the event, you can visit the CSU Presidential Ambassadors Facebook page.
A new CSU study released Wednesday says Coloradans consume more than 2.2 million ounces of marijuana every year. The study says that the number will only rise slightly now that pot has been legalized in Colorado. The study also says that over 600,000 residents would use pot would allow under the use of Amendment 64. The study wraps up to say that the legal marijuana would bring in an average of $130 million annually, which unfortunately is still not quite enough to solve Colorado's budget problems. And attention deficit disorder is the fastest growing diagnosed mental disorder in the U.S. But is this a trend due to higher awareness of the disorder, or is it just being overdiagnosed? ADHD diagnosis is on the rise. According to a recent study by the Center of Disease Control, 11% of school-aged children are diagnosed with ADHD, a 53% rise since 2003.
Well, I think that there are a number of reasons behind this. One is there's more awareness of ADHD, so it isn't missed as often as it used to be. But the other phenomena that's going on is there are a lot of kids who probably shouldn't have the diagnosis who are getting it.
Which is 30% of college students who use medication, but only 20% are diagnosed.
We don't want to stop all of that. There are some very good stories about kids being helped with ADHD medication. The point is, let's be sure it's an accurate diagnosis before we head down that path.
And when it is an accurate diagnosis, medication can have very positive effects.
In all honesty, it makes me feel normal. Like, before I've ever had it before, I didn't know what normal felt like. It makes me feel normal. Like I'm equal, like I'm on equal playing ground with everyone else.
But there still exist those who use it for the wrong reasons.
It's used when a friend is trying to get ready for a final exam and wants to borrow some of your Adderall.
I know a lot of kids that are taking advantage of the system, but I think that they're in college, they're paying a lot to go to school, and in all honesty, they're adults. They can do what they want with their body.
Although some abuse it, some really do need the medication. If you feel you have ADHD-like symptoms, you can visit the Hartshorn Medical Center right here on campus.
And in tonight's national headlines, 5 people were found dead in a small-town Illinois apartment before sunrise on Wednesday. The suspect died hours after a high-speed chase and a shootout with police. The St. Louis mayor, Ronald Drake, confirmed that the gunman, 43-year-old Rico Smith, was his estranged nephew. A grandmother, a young couple, and 2 small children were killed. A 6-year-old girl was the only one to survive, sustaining several injuries. In other news, the Federal Reserve will release a new $100 bill into circulation this fall. With the same old face, the redesigned bill will feature added security elements like a 3D blue security ribbon and a disappearing Liberty Bell and an inkwell. The purpose of the new bill is to effectively battle counterfeiters. Coming up after the break, Ashley Wallinger is here with your weekly weather update.
Plus, a look behind the scenes at the graffiti art around Fort Collins. Why the colorful Transformer boxes around town are much more than just art. Don't go away.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket, and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but, she's putting them in the same basket. Again. It's like, hello? That's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Clean kitchen surfaces, utensils, and hands with soapy water. 1 in 6 Americans will get sick from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
Welcome back from the break. After a couple of big snowstorms over the past few weeks, we're finally going to be seeing some spring-like weather in the next few days. Today's highs are still below average in the low 50s, but it was much warmer and sunnier than it has been lately. It's still pretty cold out there tonight, though. Outside the CTV studio, it's chilly 45 degrees. The warm-up we've been experiencing here has been seen across much of the state today as well. It was in the 60s across the I-25 corridor, 65 in Denver, and even in the upper 60s in the Eastern Plains. If you thought today felt great, you'll love the 7-day outlook. Tomorrow we'll see highs in the mid-60s, which we haven't seen for a couple of weeks. The warm-up continues into the weekend when we'll actually see highs in the mid-70s with plenty of sunshine and light winds. It will be pretty dry over the next week as we head into May. It cools back into the 60s by Tuesday, and our next chance for precipitation comes Wednesday, but that will most likely be rain and not snow. Get out there and enjoy that wonderful spring weather this weekend. For more weather updates, watch CTV every Wednesday at 8 p.m. or follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTV11. For CTV Weather, I'm Ashley Wallinger. Back to you, Mackenzie.
Thanks, Ashley. You may have noticed the painted transformer boxes across town, but they serve much more than just beautiful art to look at. In 2006, the city of Fort Collins came up with a plan to help prevent and reduce graffiti in an inexpensive way. They hired local artists to paint transformer boxes all across town.
The main reason for it was they were having a graffiti problem, and they wanted us to cover them with a lot of work, to kind of make it loud and busy, so that if somebody were to tag it, you wouldn't see their tag on top of it, so that meant they wouldn't really want to tag it.
The painting of these transformer boxes not only brought beautiful art to the community, but it made the boxes less desirable for graffiti and tagging. Amelia Caruso was one of the first artists in the program.
This alley, located in Old Town Fort Collins, was the original location for the Art in Public Places movement. They had artists paint transformer boxes like the one behind me all across town in an effort to stop graffiti.
When graffiti struck, the city would spend money sanding, priming, and painting the boxes, along with 20 to 30 man-hours. This artistic plan to reduce graffiti has been estimated to save up to $130,000 over the life of one transformer box.
I think they said it saves the box, or it saves utilities over $200 a box per year over the life of the box.
The project has grown since, hiring 9 artists to paint over 11 transformer box locations this next year. Each artist showcases his or her own artistic style on each box.
It's not just to mitigate, the graffiti, but people in like the south part of town, they call and they're like, we want you to come do boxes down south.
The artists are currently submitting their plans for this year's Transformer Box paintings. For more information about the Art in Public Places program, visit www.fcgov.com/artspublic. Up next, Christian Zamora is here with their weekly installment of Ram Entertainment, featuring Reese Witherspoon's recent run-in with the law and an update on Kim Kardashian's recent divorce.
And Study Abroad with Kate Spencer is back with a tour of Jameson, Guinness, and St. Patrick's Cathedral. You won't want to miss these Irish adventures coming up next.
So, I got this new family, and I don't know what it is about this one, but she can't seem to put down that toy all day long. Tap, 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 tap. Oh, and she even talks to it. She talks to that more than she talks to him. What's up, bro? Nice shirt. Who's she talking to? Her mom? She talks to her mom a lot.
Welcome back, fellow Rams, the legendary Jelena, and all you other CTV viewers out there for another Ram Entertainment. Here at Ram Entertainment, we apologize for the absence of a show last week due to adverse weather conditions. The only snow we like here is Brittany snow. I'm your host, Christian Zamora, and here are tonight's top stories. After 536 days of battling in court, 6 months of feeding fetus Kimye chalupas, and 72 days of actual marriage, Kim Kardashian is finally getting her fairy tale divorce from NBA athlete Kris Humphries. The divorce saga began after Kris sought a cool $7 million from the sex tape star. And of course, because Kim worked hard with Ray J for her $1 Million Dynasty, Kim wasn't going to let Kris get any of it. The full deets on the settlement have yet to be released, but it's reported Humpty will receive nothing from Cardumpty, and both sides will pay their own legal fees. Now Kim can give birth with ease to the spawn of the Wicked Witch of West, a.k.a. rapper Kanye West. Congrats, Kim. Reese Witherspoon and hubby Jim Toth may not be facing a divorce like Kim and Kris, but that doesn't mean the couple aren't heading to court. They're scheduled to meet in front of a judge next month after Friday night ended in handcuffs for the celebrity couple. Unfortunately for them, these handcuffs had nothing to do with a kinky Friday night bedroom festivities. According to the police report, Witherspoon's husband was pulled over for suspicion of driving drunk after he was weaving between lanes. Reese then tried her best as a loving wife to make the situation better by repeatedly disobeying orders and using her fame to get her intoxicated husband out of trouble. Well, unfortunately for Reese, all of her loving efforts only resulted in her arrest as well for disorderly conduct. Since they're running with the law and a quick stint in jail, both Reese and Toth have expressed their regrets and wrongdoings revolving around the incident. Reese has since canceled appearances on shows such as Late Night with Jimmy Fallon and The Today Show. No word as of yet if Elwoods will be representing Toth when they head back to court next month. Jim, please be more responsible in the future when you decide to drink. Your liver spoon can only handle so much. Head over to the CTV website to watch the full footage of Reese's arrest. Well, that's all the time we have for today. Make sure you tune into next Wednesday here on CTV 11 for the final Ram Entertainment of the semester. Until we once again ask ourselves, why is Kim Kardashian famous? I'm Christian Zamora for Ram Entertainment. Hope you enjoyed the ramen.
All right, thanks, Christian. The Jameson Distillery, the Guinness Brewery, and St. Patrick's Cathedral. Study Abroad with Katie Spencer is back with a tour of Dublin, Ireland. Let's take a look at some of her brewing adventures through this Irish town.
I'm at the old Jameson Distillery in Dublin, Ireland, and unfortunately this distillery stopped making Jameson whiskey in 1971, but luckily there's a remake inside of how the distillation process works.
The process starts with the all-important local barley that is germinated and then roasted in a kiln over a specialized type of coal so it doesn't leave flavor. It is then mashed with hot water, which was powered by a water wheel or a steam engine. Then it sits and ferments in a washback. After it has sat long enough, it is triple distilled, which is what makes Jameson the way it is. Finally, it sits in barrels to mature. Different barrels means different taste. And if you haven't had enough alcohol trivia as it is, we're off to the Guinness Distillery.
Here in the Guinness storehouse, in the middle of the actual storehouse, is built like a giant pint of Guinness. If it were a pint of Guinness, it would hold over 14 million pints of beer, which is over 3 times the population of Ireland.
The process is similar to Jameson, so we won't go into detail. Just remember, barley, hops, yeast, water, and the magic 5th ingredient, pride of brewing a great beer. And after the process, you enjoy. The Guinness Brewery is a little more interactive in learning about the past of the company and that it's the same Guinness as the World Record book. And to top it all off, you get to learn how to properly pour a pint of Guinness and then later enjoy it with views of Dublin. And if you're over alcohol, the St. Patrick's Cathedral stands in the place where St. Patrick baptized people into Christianity in 450 AD. Reporting from Dublin, Ireland, Katie Spencer, CTV News.
Be sure to tune in next week for the final installment of Study Abroad with Kay Spencer as she takes her final adventure through Greece before she returns back here to CSU. And coming up next, CTV sports reporter Ryan Hillman is here.
He's got highlights from the annual spring football game and a preview of the upcoming season. Plus, a look at from a play of the London rugby team that is one move you won't want to miss.
Separate raw meats from other foods by using different cutting boards. 3,000 Americans will die from food poisoning this year. Keep your family safer. Check your steps at foodsafety.gov.
43,000 CSU Ram alums call Denver home. Now it's easier for Denver Ram fans to stay connected with CSU. CSU is proud to announce the new Colorado State University Denver Center, where Ram alums will feel at home. It's a place to make professional connections, enjoy events with other alumni, and even show your Ram pride with a wide selection of CSU fan gear. Stay connected with CSU, the CSU Denver Center at 17th and Glenarm. Learn more at rams5280.colostate.edu.
Well, that was a good NBA playoff game last night for the Warriors. Going into the game, I was like, Warriors, come out and play, especially because they lost key rebounder David Lee to injury. But the Warriors handed it to the Nuggets last night. First home loss since January 18th for the Nuggets. Golden State had 3 players go for 80 points. Stephon Curry had 30, Jarrett Jack had 26, and Harrison Barnes had 24. Wow. Next game in the series is this Friday night in Golden State. Last weekend was the annual football spring game where the ones of offense take on the ones of defense and the backups take on each other. The most interesting thing I took from the game is that come September 1st when we take on CU, anyone could be under center. Garrett Grayson was the starter going into the game, but Connor Smith, who will be a sophomore next year, gave him a run for his money. Yes, Grayson had 2 throwing touchdowns, and Smith didn't have any. But in my opinion, Smith has the tighter spiral and better arm. But Grayson has more experience as starting quarterback. Nevertheless, this run should be interesting to watch. Even ask Coach Mack.
Looking for the leadership at that position, and going through the summer, I want to see who's going to take control of these guys and move forward.
Football is off for the rest of the semester, and we'll get back into practice mode later this summer. Ever since I shot the rugby match last weekend between CSU and CU, I've been intrigued by the sport and really enjoyed it. Might even start playing it. Might even try to do this. This is Elliot Daly of the London Wasps, who play in the English Premiership, and he just boomed straight in the trash can. I guarantee you folks this won't happen for another million years. And then I just love this kid who just comes in, oh, I got it. Game on. I love it, guys. This is absolutely an awesome shot.
Yeah, that was awesome.
It's awesome because he kicks it from so far and makes it in. I'm a former soccer player, and there's no way I could ever do that.
I'd like to pay you to see if you could do that.
I feel like the Nuggets would have done a lot better if they had him on his team.
Hey, we'll see, Wayne. This Friday should be an interesting game.
Yeah, hopefully they don't lose by 20 points, right?
I hope not. It should be interesting, especially since in Golden State has a tough home court, but hopefully the Nuggets bring their A game and pull out a win.
Yeah.
You should be able to do it.
Yeah, we need it. All right, well, thanks, Ryan, for joining us. That's all the time we have for you guys tonight.
For more news updates, follow us on Facebook and Twitter at CTV11, or you can check out our website at ctv11news.com.
Have a great night, and we'll see you next week. See you, Rams.